The Korg Kronos contains 9 powerful sound engines. One of these is the PolySixEX. The PolySixEX is a virtual analog synth which is comprised of the features and sonic character of the classic Korg PolySix and the additional functionality that the power of the Kronos brings to it. It boasts a whopping 180 voice polyphony and an oscillator, a sub-oscillator, a 4-pole resonant low-pass filter, dedicated chorus, ensemble, and phaser effects, as well as classic ADSR parameters and 2 multi-stage envelope generators, and much, much more. Let's dive into this expansive sound engine so that you can take advantage of all the power underneath your fingertips.
Hello and welcome to this Korg Kronos tutorial. Today we're going to be going over the PolySixEX sound engine, as you could probably tell by the description. And but right now, what we need to do is we need to get into the sound engine, because right now we're on the Berlin Grand, which is just the first patch that comes up when you get it from the factory. So I just wanted to go here because I know that everybody can easily get here. And then you just select common, and I'm going to come up here under this window here where it has the EXI1 instrument type, and I'm just going to click the drop down menu, and I'm just going to select the PolySix. So now the PolySix is selected. Now, in order to change the parameters of the PolySix, you can come out to the main window where it says where you be on play and main. And if I clicked here, I would get to the main section for the PolySix. This is the main area here where you make all your changes to the PolySix. You can also come over here. There's more parameters that you can edit here, multiple tabs. But you can also access those same tabs from your main window. So if I knew I wanted to get into the arpeggiator, rather than clicking this one, which gets me to the main, I would just click over here, and now I can select. Now it goes right into my arpeggiator parameters. If I wanted to change the LFOs, I could just click on the LFOs and it takes me to the LFOs. So that's just the different ways of navigating around, getting to the same places. But what we're going to be focusing on in this tutorial is the main parameters. And the first parameter we're going to talk about is actually the vibrato intensity, and that's this first knob here is the vibrato intensity. Now if I just take it all the way up, nothing happens. Down to 0, sounds the same. Because the way you actually adjust this activate it, I should say, is with the pitch bend wheel. So you're going to use not the pitch bend wheel, the joystick. So you're going to when you push the joystick up on the y-axis, that's when you get the modulation. So I'm just hitting the joystick, pushing it up. And so you adjust the intensity. I turned it all the way up to 10. Now it's more intensity. And of course you can be anywhere in between. So you can have less, something more subtle, or something more. All right, the next knob is going to be your octave, and it's just what it sounds like. It just sets the VCO's course tuning in octaves. So that's the default octave, but you can go down or you can go up. But we'll just keep it on default for now. So next one here is we get to our waveform knob. So you can adjust, you can change your waveform. So the one we're on now is the saw. It's that traditional buzzy sound that people associate with analog synths. But we also have a pulse width as well. So we have a pulse width, and then we also have something that says PWM. Now the PWM, that's a pulse width and modulation. So basically what that gives you is that allows you to adjust an LFO that comes with it as well. So there is a dedicated LFO that can be used with the pulse width and modulation waveform. Perfect. So let's get into the next knob here, and that's it's a PW. It says PW and PWM. And if I take the waveform and let's just go back to the pulse width, and then I adjust this knob here, it changes the shape of your pulse width. So at a 10, it's more of a square, and that's more of your regular pulse width. Now, if I switch it over to the pulse width modulation waveform, now I can use this LFO. So I can adjust this, changes the amount. But I can also adjust the speed with this one. Put the level up. Adjust the speed. So if I come over here and do this, right, and then adjust the speed, nothing happens. This has to be up some to give the speed something to work with. All right, now the next, there's a switch here, and this is your sub oscillator. And you can adjust the sub oscillator like this, and you can take it down and turn it off. So there is no sub oscillator. The default is set to 1 octave. So you have a sub oscillator playing 1 octave below each note that you hit. Or you could take it down again and you can do 2 notes below what you hit. I mean, 2 octaves below what you hit. But the default is 1. So we've gone over the vibrato intensity. That's adjusted with the knob, or adjusted with the joystick. We've gone over the octave. We've gone over the various waveforms. And the dedicated LFO on the PWM. And then the sub oscillators as well.